Hi everyone and welcome back to Just with Dara. I hope you're all doing so well. I'm doing great and I really am actually really excited for today's episode because I have my lovely guest here and it's one of my dad's old friends and I'm just really excited for today's episode because as you can tell by the title, sitting down with the CEO, a black female CEO of a multi-million dollar company and I'm really excited to talk to her today because we're just going to talk about success and what success means to her and how she has on like her path to success and how she has become successful. So yeah, I'll let her introduce herself now.
Oh, okay. So I'm Niki Moore, and I am the president, CEO, and managing partner of Just Jokes USA, a entertainment company. We vet and spotlight comedic talent from all over the world, not even the nation anymore, the world. And we expanded into a digital media brand in around 2018. We started in 2010 as Just Jokes USA, 2011. Just Jokes USA, we went full throttle 2012. And we, in 2018, expanded into digital media, monetization, social media monetization, which is like this old hand now, but then it was not as popular. And we branded Just Digital Solutions, which is an offshoot to Just Jokes USA. And we monetize and manage social media for celebrity influencers. Some of my clients include today only DL Hughley because I don't like celebrities all the time because they require a lot and they're like hard to manage. And I don't feel like it. So I vowed sometime around 2016 to only work with people who I like. And it turns out I didn't like a lot of them. But I've had a number of celebrity influencers who I had as clients along the years. And in 2019, September, I veered off and the universe kind of rained down and created this space for me. And I moved back into what I know most, which is property management, affordable housing management. And I now am the president of a multi-million dollar brand called Feria Management. And I manage affordable housing, luxury affordable housing. I've branded luxury affordable housing in the District of Columbia and 4 other markets now.
Okay, thank you.
Maryland, New York, Virginia.
That's very good. So we're gonna jump into the prompts, and the first 2 prompts we're just talking about like what is Just Jokes USA and what is Just Digital Solutions, which she already touched on. So I'm gonna jump into the next one, which is simply just, is this what you saw yourself doing when you were younger, becoming like a comedian? And also, yes, to mention she's also a comedian and becoming a business owner. Like, is that what you saw yourself?
No, it's not. It is not. What I thought I would do would always be something professional, something in the business realm, something, in corporate, but my innate, I think, go-to is comedy, to laugh. I laugh in the face of adversity. I laugh in the face of pain. I laugh in the face of comfort. Just laugh. I love laughter. I think laughter is cathartic. And the most natural transition for me was I was an affordable housing property manager, managing at the time, 500 plus unit Section 8 community in one of the toughest communities in the nation. That my community was actually literally dubbed, and it was in the top 25 most dangerous communities in America, right? And people like my car got shot and all kinds of stuff. But I grew up in urban America, and I grew up in an environment that was probably similar to those that I managed. And my mother, who was the matriarch of our family and the only source of strength that I knew. Your dad knew my mom. And she was very strong and forceful. And she was always, always, always giving and loving and nurturing. And there were no such things as strangers in my upbringing. There were only friends you hadn't met yet, right? It wouldn't be anything for my mother to invite somebody who was struggling or fell on hard times to come and live with us. I mean, it was that sort of thing. And growing up in that environment, you learn to nurture like love thy neighbor as thyself, and you learn to just befriend people and share, like when Jesus had 5 loaves, what is it, 3 loaves, 5 loaves and 3 fishes, how many fishes was it?
I no, wait. I feel kind of tested now. I can't remember. But the point is, he fed 10,000 with very little food. I want to say
With 5 loaves. I got to get back in church, Dara. That's what this is saying. I got to get back in church. He
five.
said, you go to church every Sunday. You
I'm
should
sorry.
know
I'm
this.
sorry. I haven't heard this story in
He
a
had
very
three
long
fishes
time.
and 5
I was
loaves.
put on the spot, but
He
yeah.
fed 10,000. So next Sunday you need to be paying attention, okay?
Well, you know what? I think it's just one of those things, like you hear it when like in like Sunday school, and I
Yes.
just forgot after a
It
while.
goes in and out. But
Yeah.
the gist of it is, like, there was nobody who would come hungry and leave hungry. Bottom line. Anybody, and I'm sure your household is the same. Anybody who comes to your household, if you're eating, they're eating, right?
They leave full.
That's exactly right. So the thing that I knew was, growing up, I didn't even realize we were poor until I was 15 years old. And poor, I think, is subjective. I was rich in love and culture and nurturing and all the things. So that led me to want or have a desire for so much more in life. My mother worked very hard, and she was a sole provider, and she was the one who cared for us and nurtured us and made sure that everything that we needed, we had. So there was nothing lacking. And in doing that, I watched my mother suffer, and I vowed to myself that I would never, ever, ever allow myself to be taken advantage of, my skills to be taken for granted, or my contribution to life or to my organization or whatever it was that I endeavored to be minimized or marginalized. And as a result, I have become what I think is one of the most formidable people or executives in this space in the nation. I'm extremely good at what I do. I am extremely good at what I do, and it's intentional. It's not by chance. It's not by accident. It is because I make the effort.
And so, with your upbringing and like how you realize, like, and you told yourself, I'm not going to let myself be taken advantage of like this. I'm not going to let myself struggle like this. So, with that, do you know, like, around like what age you just like you made that conscious decision, like, this is like, I don't want to live my life like this, to where I'm kind of like
Yes,
worrying about this.
it was around 32.
Okay. So, was there something going on in your life at that moment that made you
Yes.
think that?
My mother had retired from her job because she had gotten sick. So she retired. She worked for the government, and she retired on disability. And the job fought her. They fought her on paying her this disability. And she had given like the better part of her existence to these agencies that she had worked for. And I watched how she had to fight simply to get the minimal payout. And it wasn't even like it was their money, and I watched how people who had taken her skill set for granted, who had used it to build their own station in life and in those agencies, and I watched how like she had to struggle. So I, loving my mother the way that she loved me, took care of her. But I didn't, I vowed at that time that I would never, ever, ever allow myself to be taken for granted in that way. And that was the catalyst that made me want to work and do and become the woman that I am today.
That's very good. I think a lot of people, the way they plan to set out their lives comes from how, like, the experiences that they've had and the things that they've seen there, and they realize, like, from what they've seen, that's how they try to change it a bit to live their life that the way they want it to live. So I think it's incredibly good and extremely amazing that you made that conscious decision and now you are who you are today because of that and how those things happen anyways. So moving on to the next prompt, which kind of ties into that a bit, it's what struggles or hardships have you had to go through to get to where you are right now?
So let's talk about that. Let's unpack that, shall we, Dara? So right now, I am realizing a very odd circumstance in my life. And it's crazy because as a Black woman, and I say that with specificity, as a Black woman in business, a Black woman executive, a I'm not aggressive, I'm assertive, right? And I'm often told that I'm aggressive. I'm often told that the whole angry Black woman thing, because I will not hesitate to stand up and fight. And I find myself having to fight for position, for uh, respect, for advancement in life, in my career, and things of that nature. And my career spans over 38 years. Long time, way long time, longer than almost twice the time you've been alive. And I have found that in that time, it's been very, very difficult to be who I am, to own who I am, and not have to dumb it down. You've heard that term.
Yeah.
Or water it down so that, my white or male counterparts, not just white, male counterparts can be okay,
So
or comfortable.
Yeah.
Huh?
I said so that like they can be happy. They want you to change yourself.
So they can be comfortable, just so they can be comfortable. Like it's not even a thing. And I don't want to come off as angry because I'm not. What I am is awakened. I am woke by my circumstances. And it's not even a Me Too kind of woke, because I don't know that all of the things and all of the movements and all of the stuff that has happened of late is what I subscribe to. What I know for sure is my experiences have been extremely enlightening. They have been all encompassing. And what I now know today is what I thought to be a white and Black people in the workforce is really a male female in the workforce kind of circumstance. That's what I'm realizing. That's how I feel.
Yeah, I definitely understand that. I think a lot of times, so I feel like with Black people in this country, with other minorities as well, they've gone through the like fighting for their rights because they're a minority and fighting for their rights against white people, against those oppressors. But now there's still the problem between female and male to where females are paid less and males are paid more.
Marginalized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's gone up a bit, but I think to every man's dollar, it's about 85 cents for a woman. They're still paid less.
That's exactly right.
So it kind of shows how there's like a shift now because obviously like you had the women's movement and like women like getting their right to vote, but it doesn't stop there. Like that's not where it's over. Once we got our right to vote, that doesn't mean, oh, it's fine now, because clearly it's still not fine when a man and woman can be doing the exact same job, getting paid differently, even if the woman is even doing better and is doing more at the job. She's still
For Black women, it's 65 cents to the dollar.
Look at that. And it's even less
for white women. For Black women, it's 65 cents versus male. And I think what you said, I don't even think it's 85. I think it's like 70 something cents to Black white, Black men and women.
Yeah,
But here's the thing, to experience that though, D, and I'm gonna call you D. All y'all D's, all y'all. Dara.
Yeah, all my siblings and we all
Dewey,
have D.
Yeah. So I just wanna acknowledge the fact that it's not even just male, female, it's Black, white, it's white. Black women are really at the bottom of the totem pole to even white women and white men, right? And Black men also struggle when it comes to equality in the workplace, and even in just buying a house. Do you know that our homes are undervalued? If they come to your home to do an assessment, then you're going to get a lesser valuation for your home than if they thought that your home was owned by a white person.
That's crazy. That's
No matter what neighborhood you live in. So when you get ready to sell your house, have your white friends come over. Put all their pictures up and let them give you the estimate based on the white people buying, selling the house.
I didn't even know that happened. That doesn't even make any
It's
sense.
fact.
It's crazy.
It's fact.
Crazy world we live in. Crazy country. Crazy that I don't even know. Like, I know people always say things like life's not fair, and it's just like, yeah, I know that's true, but that doesn't mean that it makes it any better, that it makes it like, oh, okay, like I'm fine with this all of a sudden because I know life's not fair. Like, it still doesn't mean that it's suddenly okay.
No.
So yeah, that's crazy is all I can say about that, honestly. But the next prompt is, what's the best part of the work that you do? Like, what do you enjoy the most out of it?
So let me tell you what I enjoy the most about what I do. What I enjoy the most about what I do is the way that I impact lives. So being an affordable housing manager, I am probably, I would venture to say that, you know, there are few people who do what I do who are as good as I am at it. And the reason I'm as good as I am is because not only do I embrace it, I encompass it. It is my story as much as it is the people who live in the communities that I impact. And the thing that I enjoy most is how I have been able to see the impact that I've had on people's lives. Not even intentional in many cases. Not even intentional. It's just because I am who I am and I do what I do. Like the way that I've been able to change people's lives has been something that has been so beneficial to me as much as it's been to them, that it continues to fuel me and make me want to do more. Like, I don't like this work. I don't.
Okay. But you like the impact it makes on people.
I like the results. I like the outcome. I like being able to impact people's lives, and I like the way that it makes me feel because it's selfless. This is really a selfless service that anybody who does what I do, like, it's not fun. Like the stuff that you see, the ills of society, when you're talking about the impoverished, the most impoverished people in the nation, impacting the lives of people who really only live in many of these communities because it's the only alternative to homelessness. You know, that's not something that's like something that you celebrate. It's something that you do your best to modify. You know, let's change this because we can.
That's beautiful. That's very beautiful. I think I've realized, like, I think even like through this podcast, like I hope to like reach people to where like I'm making an impact on them. Cause I kind of like realized after, like, I'm not even doing this for views really. Like I just feel like number one, I enjoy it. And number two, I feel like if I can just make like one impact, like on one person, like I feel like I would be satisfied. And I have had like a few people like talking about how like some of their episodes have like some of the episodes have like helped them and to like realize that they can relate to people and things like that. And that just like I remember like I think it was like the first time. Sorry that I know this interview is for you, but let me just share this.
No, no, no. Go ahead. Come on. Let's do whatever flows. Don't
The
feel
first
your way.
time,
Don't apologize. Just
yeah.
let it flow.
So the first time that someone like came to me was talking about an episode. It was back in July, and it was after the episode that I did with two other guests about like our lives as children of immigrants in America. And it was
I
one of
saw
my
that one.
friends at the time.
I
Yeah.
saw it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, thanks. And so it was one of my friends at the time. Well, she's still my friend, obviously. But and she just texted me like this like really long thing about how like so she's her background, she's Guatemalan, and she was saying how she always kind of felt like she had to like suppress like the fact that she's from Guatemala and that but like this episode has helped her realize that like a lot of times you can relate to other people even though they're from other countries from you, like they're from other backgrounds, like you can still relate to them and that you're not alone in your struggles. You don't feel like you have to like succumb to
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I guess like the American like the only like and to try to like I guess like she felt as if like sometimes she was like leaving her culture behind and only trying to like be American, so to speak. And I guess like the episode just kind of helped her to like realize that, you know, like she doesn't, it doesn't.
So tell me, I remember that. And what happens is, as youth, your age and her age, you guys are so impressionable. But the thing that's very important, and one of the things that I talk to people all the time about, is the parents, like your dad and your mom. Your mom and dad are very specific people. And by that, I mean, like, they tell you you're beautiful. They tell you you're amazing. They I think they embed in you the things that would make you confident, correct?
I agree. Yeah.
Okay. So the thing that happens or doesn't happen enough is immigrants who come into the country already come with the impediment, right? Like, I have some friends who I know who work with me, like vendors, like Guatemalan people, people from the Spanish, Latino nations. Besides Guatemala, there are not Mexico, but what's the other?
Venezuela, Argentina, Bolivia, Honduras, Nicaragua, Puerto
El
Rico,
Salvador,
El Salvador.
El Salvador, and the other nations. And people come here, and they come here because the stereotypical prejudices that would step on people like that make you feel like you have to be different, or you have to dumb down your experience and your culture in order to assimilate, but it's not reasonable. This is a nation that is built on our diversity. Our diversity is our strength in America. There's not one American, except for the Native Americans who were born here and bred here. Not the African Americans, not the Native Americans. Well, the Native Americans were the first, right?
Yeah.
And not any other Americans, not the Guatemalan Americans, the European Americans, or the El Salvador Americans, or the Mexican Americans, or any of the other Americans who have been here from day one. But because of the stereotypes and the prejudices, mostly spewed by the European Americans, right? That we feel a way, and we feel like we have to overcompensate, and we have to over assimilate. Like, the thing that makes your Guatemalan friend amazing is the difference, the cultural differences, right? That they have versus the African or Nigerian Americans, like from your culture, or the African Americans from my culture. Like, I don't even know who I am, honestly, where my culture originates. You know that you're a Nigerian American, right? But I can't tell you where my Black comes from, because when we came here, we assimilated. All I know is I came from Southeast, the hood. I know we grew up in the projects, and I don't know where the rest of the project people came from, but I do know that the Black that I have, like, people say you're from this place or that place, you know, it's always it's an African culture. But to be able to make the distinction and to be able to celebrate our differences is the thing that we should focus on, and not the fact that we don't present as American. I think that's the thing that kills us as a people, as a diverse nation of people, as like friends, as the youth, people your age growing up. Like, you should be celebrated. You should be celebrated for what you can bring to a scenario, like your Guatemalan friends, and I'm sure you have Vietnamese friends, and I'm sure you have a lot of other friends who are not exactly who you are, but collectively, your differences make a big impact on what you are to become.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a big deal.
It really is. And it is important because it's like, I think diversity is such a beautiful thing because it, like you said, like it brings people together, and it creates that bond. And like, just because like you're different doesn't necessarily mean that like, oh, you can't hang out. Like, it
No,
becomes like even better, I guess, in a sense. So
it does.
yeah. So like back to the episode to Focus on You though. I did enjoy
Okay.
the break. That was a nice thing. I think it was very important. So the next prompt, which kind of talked about how you were like saying that people, like when people like when you make an impact on other people and whatnot. So it's what do you have to say to those who look up to you as their role model?
So, what I have to say to those who look up to me as their role model, and I have a few people who I'm speaking to mentally, and I will say, own who you are. Don't be be unapologetic, unapologetically who you are. Do not apologize for being outspoken. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid to be a trailblazer. Dara, do not, do not second guess yourself, because what your gut tells you is the instinct that you should always, always, always follow. I'm very proud of you. And I think that you're amazing. You are the role model. You are the future. You are the people who we want to follow. You are the leaders. You are the future um, presidents of the United States. You are the future, not I would say vice president, but I want you to go for the top. I want you to, I want you to aspire to greatness. Like I have been uh forcing myself to listen to and be impacted by motivational things. And I came across something. And when you open up your space and source recognizes that for you, you get fed, right? And what I've been getting lately is I woke up 2, 3 days ago to a piece, and a guy was like, how big would you dream if you knew you couldn't fail?
It's definitely an interesting thought because you know, like you're gonna reach for the stars if you know. Because a lot of times a lot of times the reason why people don't continue to strive for greater things is because they're afraid that they're gonna fail, afraid that they're gonna fall, they're afraid that they're not gonna be able to pick themselves back up. But
Don't be
that's a
afraid.
good prompt because it's like if you think about it as I'm never gonna fail, I know I'm always gonna have this success, I know I'm always gonna succeed, then you would reach as far as you want, as far as you hope to get in life, and you would never
The
let.
Eiffel Tower,
Yeah,
sky's the limit.
sky's the limit.
Sky's the limit. And that's what you should do. You should always, always, always endeavor to be whatever it is that you want to be. It doesn't matter if you could see the end. If you walk up, if you venture upon a staircase and the staircase is spiral, you can't see the top. Do you not start walking because you can't see the top? No, you walk with the faith that the top is there, right?
Yeah.
And that's it. That's it. That's how you impact life. And that's what I would say to anybody who follows me, who trusts me, who trusts my guidance, who respects my position in life and the things that I've endeavored to this point.
That's good. Thank you. So now the next prompt is really just have you ever had anyone who has shut down your attempt in building a name for yourself through comedy and through
Yes,
business?
many times. And you know what I say? Fuck them.
Well, I mean, yes, that's a very nice quick response to just be like, I don't care about the haters and oh well to you because I'm gonna do what I want to do anyways. And
Listen, don't be dissuaded by people who tell you that you're seeking, you're dreaming too big. Don't be dissuaded by people who would like do anything to diminish your capacity. Basically, that's it. That's all you got for them. Fuck them. If you don't love what you do, Dara, and I'm not going to turn this into a dirty podcast because I know you're clean and you're a kid and you can't say the stuff I'm saying, but I'm a realist. I'm a realist. And I will say to you, even if you cut me out, if you don't love what you do, fuck that. Period. The end.
okay, so thank you. We'll be bleeping all four of those words out. Actually, I'm kidding. I'm actually not going to bleep them out, actually. But
Let it go. I'm old. I'm an old lady. Old ladies cuss.
okay. See, the comedy is shining through. Like I'm already laughing. Okay. So, what's the number one tip that you have to anyone who's in the process of starting their own business?
I would say do as much research as you can on whatever it is that you're moving into. Make sure that you know and become the subject matter expert. Don't second guess yourself and step out on faith and just fly. Don't be afraid to fail.
Very good advice.
Do not be afraid to fail. Okay. My thing right now is I have already redefined my relationship with the word failure. Like what failure is allowable? What failure can I recover from? And that's what I'm doing. I don't care. I'm just jumping out there. The universe, you do the least and the universe will take the rest.
That's very good. So, at this point in time, with where you are in your life, would you say that you're completely satisfied with where you are?
No, I'm not.
I can only leave you to
Right now, let me tell you who I am. Right now, I'm in a transition. And what I will say is I have learned myself in a way that is very, very different from anything that I understood, at least just a short month ago. When I was with you, when we had brunch, I was a different person. Today, I understand my life and my existence like maybe 50% different because some things have happened to afford me the opportunity to not completely reevaluate, but to look at things in a different context. And you'll learn what I mean sometime later, and your audience maybe sometime after that. But what I'm saying is I will not say that I'm 100% where I need to be because I've not accomplished 100% of the things that I endeavor. I want to see you graduate. I want to see you be a super success. I want to see you become the next Oprah because now I am invested in you.
thank you. I appreciate that. It means a lot to me. Um, so, is there anything that you wish that you would have done differently so far in your life?
Yes,
Like a lot.
that's it.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I feel like everyone has some things that they're kind of like, wish I did that differently. Like I definitely do, and I've only lived for 15 years so far. But
Okay. What are your things? And I'll tell you mine.
oh, well, I can't think of them right now. I just know that there's some things like the small things like, oh, I wish I didn't second guess myself on that test. I could have got 100.
And that's a good one. Let me tell you the one time that's the biggest I second guessed myself and I wish I hadn't. So I was working for this company and I had started talking to them about diversity and inclusion. And I was also a new comedian and they gave me the opportunity. One of the people who was like my mentors in the company, who had been with the company for 30 plus years at the time, and that was like a lifetime. She gave me the opportunity to speak during her retirement, and all of the people were white and they did not look like me, right? And so I'm getting up there, I'm a new comedian, and they gave me the mic, and I wanted to say this thing, but I choked. I choked. And the thing that I was going to say is, as I look around the room, there are not many people who look like me. I want to know so and so, I ain't going to say his name. What are we doing to get more supermodels in the company? Because in addition to me talking to them about diversity and inclusion, I had some years prior identified myself as America's Next Top Model at one of the executive meetings as an icebreaker, right? So when I did that, I choked and I didn't say it. And that would have been so impactful because it would have been clever. It would have been all of the things, but because I choked, I didn't say it. And they looked at me like, ugh, she fell flat. But it would have been amazing.
Yeah. it definitely like after I feel like after those things happen, you're like, oh, I wish I said this, or I wish I didn't say that, or things like that. It just sometimes like I know for me, like kind of messes with my mind. And I'm like, oh, like I wish I could just go back, turn the clock, and like it would have been perfect because like I know it would have worked so well. That even happened yesterday too. Like there's something that I was thinking about I should have said, but I didn't.
But
So after those things happen and things like that, I just sometimes then sometimes I try to tell myself like stop thinking about it because I think that would just make it like worse in a sense. Like it would keep like I'll start overthinking
Dara,
things.
this has been, what's this, 2021 going into 22? This has been 8 years now. I can't stop thinking about it.
Oh wow. Okay. Honestly, I feel like this
So
thing that finished. I feel like I'll keep thinking about that
I'm
for.
letting you know that if it was as impactful as that was, you're not going to stop thinking about it.
I don't
I
think,
still think about it.
but yeah, I understand.
Like I wish I had said it. I really do, but okay, I did.
Guess you just like have to move on after that.
Yeah, you have to move on.
Yeah. So
It
um
is what it is.
now we're on to the last prompt, and it kind of just sums up everything with what is your definition of success?
I don't know, honestly. So success to me today, is living the life that I desire. Do I think of myself as successful? Sometimes. Success is loving the people that you love and having them love you back, and not being in love like a boy girl relationship kind of love, but just like the context that love brings to your life, like the trust, the nurturing, like the you coming into my existence, like the universe like shining down on me and bringing to me the things that would make me whole and a person of substance. You understand? It's that kind of thing. So success is a number of things, and it's very, very, very complex, and it's simple at the same time, if that makes sense.
I love your response with that. I just want to say that I loved your response with that because I don't think there is one definition for success. It means a lot of different things for different people. Like you said, it's a complex thing. It's a simple thing. Sometimes you can easily describe it, and at other times in your life, maybe it's like I can't exactly put this into words.
Right.
So yeah, I definitely understand what you mean, and I definitely agree as well. So this brings us to a conclusion of this episode. I thank you so much for coming on. I really enjoyed this. I definitely think it was fun and kind of like therapeutic in a sense. I don't know, kind of was, but yeah. So I
It felt
appreciate.
like therapy. It was therapy. It was definitely therapy for me.
I hope you guys all enjoyed this episode. Thank you so much for again for coming on. I really appreciate you. And that's the gist. See you guys next Saturday. Today is November 8th, 2021. It is a Thursday, and this is the third episode recording of Just with Dara podcast. My name is Dara Simabankole. I am your host. I'm waiting for my guest. Her name is Miss Niki Moore, and she is a comedian slash business owner. Yeah, so we're just waiting for that. Let's hope this thing records because that would be embarrassing if it didn't. I look kind of good though. Like, okay. So
Enjoy the universe. Worst possible case scenario, this will be your first YouTube. Let me change my name now. Hold on. This will be your first YouTube interview. How about that?
okay.
Hey, boo, hey.
Hi. Okay, so I'll start now. Okay.
Use some of them outtakes because they're gonna be good.
Oh yeah. Okay.